The common narrative claims that Greater Lebanon is nothing but a return to a historical Lebanon. However, history draws a different story. The earliest evidence of the idea of Lebanon can be traced back to the 19th century. Following the end of the Emirate, and in the context of turbulent events, Maronite elites voiced for the first time the idea of Lebanon. While Bishop Murad demanded the establishment of a separate entity in Lebanon under Shihabi rule, Tannous al-Shidyak depicted Mount Lebanon as a feudal association under the leadership of the Shihabs. Following 2 decades of repeated civil wars, a new settlement was worked out for Mount Lebanon, the Mutasarrifiyya. This gave the Lebanon, for the first time, a legal and territorial definition as well as self-rule. The rapid development of the Mutasarrifiyya gave the Lebanese elites a sense of national achievement. However, they insisted that the Mutasarrifiyya was restrictive. Lebanon could not advance unless its territory was enlarged. Bulus and Jaim put forth the arguments of the expansion, a historical narrative for Lebanon, and called upon France to help achieve independence. His Lebanon was to be simply a return to the Lebanon of Amir Fakhr al-Din. His arguments were echoed and developed by a number of other Lebanese nationalists, mainly Maronites and Uniats, who organized themselves in committees in the diaspora and solicited international support for their cause. Following the collapse of the Ottoman Empire, Lebanese nationalist demands were adopted by the delegations sent to the peace conference, as Lebanese diaspora elites lobbied for French support. The Maronite Patriarch's formal memorandum to the peace conference emphasized the importance of Lebanon's independence, requested French mandate, placed the stress on the Christianity of Lebanon. France then received a mandate from the League of Nations over the territory of present-day Lebanon and Syria. And on the 1st of September 1920, the French High Commissioner, General Henry Gouraud, proclaimed in Beirut the state of Greater Lebanon with its present boundaries. The establishment of Greater Lebanon satisfied the demands of the Christian Lebanese nationalists. However, it brought with it a serious problem. Lebanese had to face Pan-Arabism and Syrian nationalism. Phoenicianism provided grounds for the dissociating from Arabism and depicted the Lebanese immigrant as a Phoenician adventurer. Other Lebanese nationalists promoted the concept of Lebanon as a refuge. Still, a workable formula for the country became a necessity. The initial formula was worked out by a group of leaders. Among the most prominent was Michel Chiha. He depicted Lebanon as an association of Christian and Muslim communities living together in a spirit of cooperation and mutual respect. Lebanon, he maintained, had a character of its own and was in essence Mediterranean. The Lebanese were destined for trade and to play the role of cultural intermediaries. The constitution, which he helped draft, established a legal framework for the formula, and shortly before independence, the National Pact was worked out between Christian and Muslim leaders to define power sharing. The process that led to the appearance of fluid national alleles among members of the clerical and secular Lebanese elite took over a century to coalesce into a national idea of Lebanon. Up until the establishment of a Lebanese state, the Lebanese national idea was still vague and only took shape between 1920 and 1943 and remains, to this day, controversial.